Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out the official trailer number 1 and 2 for RWBY Ice Queendom. This took me completely by surprise, and before we go any farther, yes, I know it is already airing. The first 5 or 6 episodes are already out on Crunchyroll. There's going to be 12 episodes. I've not watched these trailers yet, and I've not watched the episodes yet. That's why we're here. But anyway, so RWBY, created by the now late Monty Oum, rest in peace, Monty. We will miss you forever. I definitely, Monty Oum's work stuck with me a long time. Between Dead Fantasy is probably one of the ones that sticks out the brightest in my mind, and the incredible work that Monty did on that. Hellblade, of course, is something else. And then when he got picked up to actually make his own show and series in the form of RWBY, and RWBY's went through an interesting journey, because some people really like Monty Oum's style, some people don't. But one thing that I can say irrefutably is that RWBY as a series definitively changed after Monty Oum passed away. And whether it's for better or worse is completely up to you in terms of how you feel about it. I will say, from my own personal perspective, watching the core RWBY series, I have not caught all the way up on the RWBY series. I've missed. I think I have the latest volume that I just haven't watched yet because I refuse to give Rooster Teeth my money. But RWBY, when we changed over from after Monty Oum passed away, I felt like the RWBY team was really lost in terms of what to do without Monty, and that's understandable because he was such a lead on the project. And it's weird because I feel like the series got better in some ways and worse than others. I feel like the writing started to get a little bit more lost, but hilariously, the animations got a little bit better. And I don't necessarily mean the fight scenes, because Monty Oum had such a definitive style for the fight scenes, and no one has really been able to emulate his fight choreography in such the same way. Some people don't like it because it's really floaty and stuff like that, and that's perfectly fine if it's not your style. But I feel like a lot of the moment-to-moment animations started to get better, and I think it's because they stopped focusing as hard on Monty Oum's combat style, which is, for better or worse. If you wanted to see more of his, bombastic, floaty, high-paced combat, it really starts to fall off after he passed away. But I feel like everything else started to get better, and they're putting more time and energy into the character moments and the character, interactions and depth. And so, regardless of all of that, though, that's not necessarily why we're here. We're here because something is out that I did not expect, and I'm very, very interested in, and that is that they made an anime out of RWBY, and some people are like, RWBY's already an anime, and I'm like, I'm not here for that discussion. But what I mean is that instead of the 3D animated models, these are hand-drawn, traditional Japanese anime design. So let's see what it actually looks like. Let's see if it looks I've seen a couple of screenshots and it looks good, but let's actually see how the actual presentation is. RWBY the Older Show felt like a Miku Miku dance animation series project when I was first exposed to it. I think that's a good thing.
Team RWBY だ。リーダーはルビーローズ。え？やったー！すごいよルビー。
かつて人は塵より生まれ、強く賢く創造性に満ちていた。だが破壊の獣たるグリムが人を敵とみなした。
行ってきます。
You like the floaty physics-based animations but hated the standard walking animations? I bet you would like RWBY Season 3 onwards, because that all gets better.
ハッピーエンドだから現実はおとぎ話のようにはいかないわ。大好きな妹と一緒にビーコンに入れるなんて最高。
君たちは戦士として訓練を受けてきた。在学中の4年間はチームで行動する。
大した努力もなしにリーダーになったことがそんなに嬉しいの？偉そうに大っ嫌い。そこに消さないで光を。
Oh, there goes my copyright.
君をリーダーにしたことを間違いとは思わない。どう責任を全うすべきかじっくり考えるといい。
黙ってないで何か言いなよ。
Well, I guess I should say Volume 3 because they're not called seasons. Oh, that was a neat effect. '22 release. It's already out, actually, but that's fine. That's fine. So before we go any farther, so I heard that before. It's just getting through like 12 to 14 hours of show before I'd really enjoy it. So fun thing on that, it's actually not that long because it doesn't fit the same way that normal series does, okay? And the reason that I say that is because when they first started up RWBY, they didn't make it like a normal show. Each episode was only as long as it needed to be. So that meant that some episodes were, unfortunately, for those of us that wanted more content, were only like 7 minutes long. That was the whole episode, was 7 minutes. Because it was an internet series, they only made it as long as they needed to be to actually tell the story of that episode. I doubt volumes 1 and 2 actually add up to very much time because they also aren't even traditional length of like 13 episodes. You could probably get through volume 1 and 2 in like maybe 3 hours at absolute maximum, but I bet it's less than that. I thought it was 10 episodes per episode at volume 1. It was random because like there was one episode that was like 17 minutes, the next one was 7, and then it was 12, and then it was 10. Like they were completely random. They started to get to a more like normal, like a consistent episode length after Monty Owen passed away because they were trying to make it more like marketable and just make it a more like serious thing that was gonna like had the potential to be on TV and stuff like that, right? But early on, it was definitely not like that. You could probably get through it very, very quickly. I don't know right offhand how long it is, but that said, I completely understand and wholeheartedly agree with the argument of not wanting to watch something you don't enjoy on the hopes that it gets to something that you will. Completely understand that. Anytime anyone's like, oh, I know the beginning sucks, but if you just get to episode 37, it's better. One Piece, fuck you. And there's been a lot of books that are that way too. I forget what book series it was that someone was pitching me, and I'm like, I started it, I hated it. They're like, oh yeah, books 1 through 3 suck, but it all comes together and is great after book 4. And I'm like, ew, gross, no, suck my toes. I am not doing that. I'm not gonna read 3 whole books on the hope that I start to like it by book 4. I completely understand. 100% understand, Eve. But I will say, if you enjoyed the physics animation, if you enjoy the characters, if you enjoy the setting, and the main thing that you don't like is the walking animations, the facial animations, definitely understand. They do get better later. If you can choke yourself through that, and you will probably find something that you like a lot afterwards. But 4.5 hours is what it adds up to. I understand if you don't want to go through that 4.5 hours. I don't know if this will actually be a good stopgap through to get you to where I'm describing. I don't know. I will watch this and I will let you know. It's like how Red vs. Blue is a show that just started with silly Halo animations. Right. All right, let's see what official trailer 2 looks like.
私はシオン財伝 Nightmare Hunter.
I do not recognize that character. Let's get another copyright claim.
私もいつかママみたいにグリムから人を守って戦っちゃうんだから
There's no subtitles on this trailer. Fuck.
今日からチームルビーだ。
かっこいいとこバッチリ見せちゃうから私のこと見直すと思うよ。私はワイスシュムカンパニーの後継者です。私は私の道を見つける。大好きな妹と一緒にビーコンに入れるなんて最高。だいたいあなた幼く見えますけど入学できる年齢ですの？飛び級で飛び級？オーラは生きるもの全てが備えているの。グリム以外は。行くよ。
人に取り付きオーラを吸って成長するグリム。取り憑かれた者は夢にとらわれ眠りながらグリムの苗床となる。ハンターとなるなら どのような困難にも打ち勝つべきだと。
無論だ。
よくこんなの思いつきますわ。ちゃんと戦えるって知ってほしいだけ。知ってましたよ。ルビー、氷雪帝国。
Is that a Jeff Williams song? I believe Jeff Williams did the entire like soundtrack for the original RWBY, but it doesn't say who is doing this one. I mean, it says Beyond Cell's Void Chords featuring L, but I don't actually know if it's composed by Jeff Williams. So I will, like, without spoiling anything, I just realized a couple of things about rewatching essentially. If they do follow the same trail of events, it's going to be painful. Since I really wish there was another style of application of the weight they use in the scythe or the gauntlets being used, where their entire momentum and body is changed with the air blaster shots. I mean, yeah, they do really cool stuff. I mean, we'll see. Well, I guess we won't see, but I'm sure that they probably communicate some of that. I don't know how well it goes in terms of, you know, the actual animation in terms of like the choreography, but it looks really good. It looks really pretty. I'm really curious to see how much, if anything, they've changed. Because like I said, I don't recognize this witch at the beginning that has like the freaking staff wand thing. I don't recognize this character at all, but that doesn't mean anything. But it does make me curious. Also, like, there's some other characters that show up, like, and it could be because I've not actually watched properly through RWBY in a long time, but this character right here, this character's name is Penny, and I don't remember how early they show up in the series. I feel like it was pretty soon, but I haven't watched it in so long that I was like, man, do they show up in season 1? I don't remember, so... There's a couple of RWBY Jeff Williams songs on Rock Band. Are there? Is RWBY that old? Of course, didn't we get like a Rock Band 5 or something that nobody bought because it was after instrument games were already done and over with? That meaty chunk metal sound from the scythe is ingrained in my mind, in a good way, I hope. But I need to watch this. I don't know when I'll get around to watching it, but I absolutely need to watch it. And so I will make sure that I do so sometime in the near future. I'll probably wait until it's actually fully out, especially since I'm going to be gone for a little bit. But I'll probably wait till it's fully out so that I can just binge it. And I will check with you, Eve, after I watch it and see if you've watched it yet. And if you haven't, then I'll let you know how far it gets in comparison to the original series and run, and I can let you know that. Because I do remember where things end and change over at very clearly, because when Monty Ohm died, I was very sad. That was Rock Band 4. There will never be a Rock Band 5 because they're now a satellite Fortnite studio. Yeah, rest in peace, Harmonix. Rest in peace. Okay. But that was cool. I'm very interested in this. The animation style is great. The actual visuals are beautiful. To you watching right now, have you watched this? Are you a RWBY fan? I'll let you know that while I'm not like a ravenous RWBY fan, I'm a pretty big fan. I have like 4 freaking hats for RWBY. I have all of the pop-up parade figures. You can't see them. They're off the screen right now, but I have all 4 of them, and it resonated really well with me. Obviously, I was a Monty Ohm fan, largely still am. You can still be a fan of people after they're dead, right? Yeah, people are still like David Bowie fans and stuff like that. So anyway, it's definitely a series and a franchise that I have enjoyed a lot. I will openly admit, and as we've already talked about, it is not perfect, but I definitely enjoyed RWBY immensely. I'm not sure where it's at right now because, like I said, I haven't seen the most recent volume, but hopefully it's still doing well, although I will say I felt like the story started to get a little weird. But you know what? Whatever. That's just kind of how things end up going. But if you have seen some of RWBY Ice Queendom, let me know how it is. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to keep with the conversation elsewhere, 2 great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. And speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.